Hey everybody, morning. Um, Kind of cooled off up here in Ohio. It's like 50 degrees. It's actually nice this morning. Um, I want to talk some more about hemp and hemp farmers in Virginia. There's no real outlet for a lot of the products. I've actually been on the phone the last couple of days to some pellet mills. Um, a couple of them are going out of business just because they don't have any business. I mean, a lot of people burn just wood in Virginia, but um, this is a way we can help save local businesses and help hemp farmers. If reaching out to these people, and instead of letting them go out of business and losing those jobs and everything in an area, is help them incorporate hemp and hemp fiber into their pellet mills. Now, we've burned pellets for years, wood pellets, and let me tell you what, that's the best heat you can get. I mean, it's pretty cheap. It doesn't make a mess, and it puts off good heat. And hemp fiber is actually the BTUs are higher than regular wood pellets. Uh, I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but hemp could very well save Southside Virginia. Um, there's so many things we can do with it. I mean, it's just there's so much stuff we can do with it, and it needs to be taken advantage of. I mean, there's so many. There's ropes. There's clothing line. There's everything you can think of. So growing the hemp is one portion. For the farmers, it helps. But then we've got a lot of empty factories and things, and old buildings, and everything else in Southside Virginia. Um, we need to kind of focus on getting those plants up and running and convert them to do something with the hemp. And how would you do that as a legislator? Everybody asked. Well, um, I would, give them tax breaks and all, and good tax breaks and subsidies and all state stuff. Just to not so much. I wouldn't hand them any money, but you give them tax breaks and all to encourage them to start business. Um, that's a big thing. And I mean, just think so. Truck drivers that used to go to all these little sawmills. The truck drivers used to go to all these little small sawmills delivering wood chips and wood, dust and sawdust and all that. A lot of them guys went out of business now because they didn't need. So who does that impact? Well, of course, we go on down the line. It impacts people to sell tires. It impacts the mechanics. It impacts everything. So how do you do that? You get some of these old sawmills that were up and running, turn them into sawdust mills, and they can actually dry the hemp product and just turn it into dust to be used for some stuff like, or take the fiber. But either way, there's 100 different things we can do, and that gets the truckers back busy. They can drive the trucks because that deliver that raw product. So that's the things we need to watch. Hey, Jamie, long time no see. Tabby. We just need to look at that in Southside. I mean, I know a lot of old school people go, that's that damn dope, that damn marijuana. But industrial hemp and marijuana are two different things. Industrial hemp is really highly regulated, as I've talked about before. If you make marijuana 100% legal, then all that goes that way. So now, somebody with 10 acres of land can raise hemp, industrial hemp. Man, maybe they want to raise marijuana. I don't care. The point is we're looking to bring some of that work base back to Southside, right? I mean, there's some revenue coming into Southside, but there's also a real loss of the family farms. I ride around Southside Virginia, and there's how many on any given day you can ride past 20 abandoned farms or farms for sale because it just wasn't viable anymore. And that's a shame, because what happens, people, I'm going to tell you what happened. Out-of-staters come in and buy that land cheap, trying to get away from the cities. But when they come, they turn us into what they were running away from. We need to get back to keep these farmers and stuff viable, so they don't sell off that land, so it's not available for people come from Alexandria or Richmond or Chesapeake just to get away from what they, all that crap over there, overtaxed over at one side. And when you know how it happens, I've seen it in other states. Once those out-of-staters come in, they turn your place into what they ran away from. It's just what they do. So we need to keep our farms viable, and hemp is one way to do it, but there's also other alternative crops. I'm not saying just hemp, but there's lavender and not known secret. Virginia's number 2 cash crop for the last 3 years in a row has actually been tomatoes. Interesting. But there's so many alternative crops, and there's so many out there, and then that's part of it. But then a farmer raising a crop shouldn't have to drive 100 miles to bring his product to market. We need to come up with ways to make it where they can get their product to market right here locally, right? But there's other stuff too, getting the USDA out of some things, because a farmer should be able to sell a cow. A farmer should be able to butcher a cow and then sell me a side of beef without having to go through a butcher to do it. That's the kind of stuff we need to talk about to help the farmers, not just hand them money. I mean, that's what the government likes to do. They listen to the farmers, but then all they do is hand them money, right? So they hand them money not to raise crops, and that's a shame. I mean, look at so. When we left tobacco in Virginia, Southern Virginia, we moved to soybeans. Well, with the trade wars with China and all, soybean markets kind of collapsed in a big sense. So now you've got to find other crops, and you need good cash crops. There's a lot of cash crops out there, alternative crops that can be grown. Hemp is just hemp. I mean, you can make $6,000-$8,000 profit per acre if it's done right. That's a lot of money. That's going to help a lot of farmers, so they don't have to go in debt just to survive. So that's one of my primary focuses: getting farms more viable, and also bringing in industry surrounding that. And that's what I want to do. So get the word out. Let's talk about it. Let's get that word out, and we'll have some meet and greets and talk about it. And I appreciate everybody. Talk to y'all later.